So today we're going to pick some strawberries, and then as I'm picking them, you can harvest with me. I'm going to share with you the difference between ever-bearing and June-bearing strawberries and share with you how they look differently. So under this tree right here, this is my plum tree, I have what we call June-bearing strawberries. And these strawberries I planted last season, and I ordered strawberry bare roots. And so the bare roots are the best way to have in-ground strawberries or even any strawberries. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and buy a strawberry plant. However, the bare root strawberries are going to be the best and long lasting. So first and foremost, ever-bearing strawberries. Ever-bearing strawberries mean that they will produce strawberries throughout the entire season. Once they wake up in the spring, all the way through to the first frost, those particular strawberries will produce. Now, you will not get an overabundance of strawberries. You'll get a nice amount. They're going to be a nice size, and they will be nice tasting strawberries. On the other hand, you have June bearing. And June bearing strawberries are very prolific in the early parts of the spring when they first wake up, all the way through June, July. Then they start to slow down with the heat, when the heat gets highest. So the reason why I am able to pick a bowl full of strawberries, this size bowl, every 2 days is because I have 2 sections of June bearing and 1 section of ever bearing. So I can get a vast amount of strawberries early in the spring and early summer. And then throughout the rest of the summer, when everything else comes alive and I have melons and blackberries and other things to pick, my strawberries slow down. I'll still get some, but I won't have as many. So let's take a look and see how our strawberries are doing. So as you can see, it's very prolific. And I'm only going to pick strawberries that are really, really red. The ones that still have white on them, I'm going to leave them here and come back and get them another day. Now, the problem with strawberries is if you leave them on too long, they will over ripen and they will draw all kinds of rodents because they love strawberries as well. And so what I tend to do is if I find one that's over ripened or it looks like something's been biting on it, I just toss it to the side. So when the rodents come, they have easy access and they won't have to go into my good strawberries. So let's see here. Strawberries also hide. So you literally have to take time to go through and find the ripe ones. Again, once they're really ripe, you may say, I want my strawberries to be a lot bigger. You can chance it by leaving it here and for it to get bigger, but then you run into possibly pests coming to get them over ripening, becoming mushy, turning black. And so I tend to grab mine as soon as they show full ripeness. These particular strawberries I purchased from Park Seeds. Every year, Park Seeds has great sales on their strawberry bare roots. And this one is called Big Whopper. I'm going to put some information here on the video to show you. But I purchased these. It was enough for me to put under this tree and fill that bed over there just by one order of bare roots. So that's the difference between June bearing and ever bearing. It's basically determined on what you like to do. Do you want to have a high overabundance of strawberries at one time, or would you like slow and steady? So, speed racer, slow and steady. I like a little bit of both. So, that's why I planted both. All right, let's get it. the reason why I'm able to pick every 2 days, one thing about strawberries, the more you pick them, the more they will grow. So as you can see, all of these green strawberries here, in a couple of days, they're going to be red. The more I pick, the more they produce. So this half a bowl right now is only from this little section under my tree. I still have a whole bed on the other side. So what we're going to do is go over there and grab those. When you're planting strawberries in a garden, there's a few things that you want to pay attention to. Number one, location. You want to plant your strawberries somewhere or have them somewhere where they're going to get full sun and they're going to have exposure. You don't want them in the shade. Will they grow in the shade? Yes. Will you get a nice harvest or a beautiful abundance of strawberries? Probably not. Location is number one. The second thing you want to pay attention to is the soil medium. What are you planting your strawberries in? Here in Middle Tennessee, I'm in zone 7B. And what that means is we have red clay soil, which is really hard and compacted. If I took strawberry plants and just put them in the ground, they may recover, they may grow well, but they're not going to be as prolific as they could be. And so this particular bed here, when I first started gardening, this was my very first bed. And I'll include some photos so you can see. I've had watermelon, cabbage, tomatoes. I've had some of everything in this bed. But when I first started, I noticed my soil was extremely hard and rocky. If you see the border in the front of this bed, it's bordered by these rocks. Each one of these rocks, as I tilled this area and turned over the soil, I found these rocks here. So I didn't purchase these as a board. I have some outside in my landscaping in the front as well. They were just in the earth, so I pulled them out. So this is what your roots would run into if you didn't take the time to till and turn over the soil and remove all of these rocks. So this area I tilled completely. I added garden soil. I've added tons of compost, and then I topped it with mulch. And so it's really protected. And over the years, it's been a couple years so far, each season I add more compost and more mulch. So it's creating sort of that sandwich effect, and it's breaking down into the soil. Because I did the tilling and I went down probably about a good 8 to 12 inches when I tilled, the drainage is good. And so things grow very well here. I constantly fertilize, compost this area. So yeah, now my strawberries are here. This is the strawberry bed dedicated to them. So this is where we are. So going back to what I said, the soil medium is very important. If you're going to grow in containers, you can definitely get a great container soil that's going to have a lot of the components in it. It's going to have those nutrients. It's going to have the fertilizer. It's going to have probably perlite to help with drainage. So you get a lot of that in the soil mix when you buy organic bag soil or container soil. But there's another video I'm going to post that I created on how to make your own soil. It's based on your convenience. What's convenient for you? Do you want to just go and spend $15, $20 on a great bag of soil where you get one bag of soil? If you only have one thing to pot up, that bag of soil is going to be great. But considering all the things that I have in my garden, for me to do that, it would have been very expensive. So I did research, follow some of the best YouTubers out there to learn about how to create soil. And what I found is if you create your own, you know what's in it, you can reproduce it, and everything has consistent soil in your garden. You can add acidifier or lime to it to make it more acidic, less acidic, depending on what you need. So we're going to talk about soil at a later date. So location is number one. Your soil medium is number two. Number three, what type of strawberries you want to plant, June bearing or ever bearing. We just talked about that. Do you want to get a plant from a big box store, or do you want to order some crowns or bare roots so that you can nurture it? These strawberries are perennials. They will come back year after year after year. So the work that I'm doing each year only sets me up for success for the next season to have. When I first planted these the first year, I nowhere near got this many strawberries. But now we're going into year 2.5, going into year 3. Here we are. So we see that we're almost at half a bowl. Let's see where we are once we go through and pick the strawberries here. And again, as I pick them, if they are still white, I leave them so they can continue to ripen on the vine. Sometimes I get overzealous and pull it up. But this one I accidentally pulled up, but I can plant this somewhere else. But this is a great opportunity to show what the crown and the root looks like for a strawberry plant. So this looks like it was a runner. So strawberries are really unique in that they will sort of self-seed and continue to grow. Basically what that means is as the strawberry plant grows, it's going to put out a runner that's going to spread out and go back into the ground and plant another plant. And so if you ever see a strawberry patch, what you're going to see is there's lines from plant to plant to plant to plant. Will they survive that way a couple seasons? Yes. But what you want to do is those runners, you can actually cut those, pull them up, and plant them somewhere else. So once you purchase your first set of bare roots for strawberries, you really never have to purchase anymore. As long as there's runners, you'll always have strawberry plants. And here's an example of a runner that I can actually take this and plant somewhere else and start another strawberry patch in my garden. That's good. Another nice size beauty. Now, what you'll notice, I haven't gotten on that side, but there's a lot of bigger strawberries on this side. If you cut this in half, this half over here are my ever-bearing strawberries. So this section over here will continue to produce strawberries throughout the entire season, all the way through to the frost hits. And sometimes, if we get a few warm days after the frost, it'll still produce. However, those over there are June bearing, so they're going to slow down as it gets hotter. And so this is how I'm able to get a great harvest of strawberries in the beginning of the season and continue to get strawberries all throughout. So as I look at these, I'm gonna pull these back. There's all these strawberries. Look at all those strawberries there. Some of them are still white at the top. Like this one, there's still some white there. So I will leave these another day or two instead of picking them because I don't want sour or bitter strawberries. So they're not ready yet. So I continue to dig through until I find some that are nice and ripe like that. Like this one, I picked too early. You don't want to pick these. Here's another one. I grabbed it, being overzealous, but it's white, so it's going to be a little sour. Will it still work in a smoothie? Abso-freaking-lutely. So how often do I harvest? We get this many strawberries literally every other day. Today is Saturday. I did harvest on Thursday. It rained yesterday, and now I'm back here today. So I just pulled up a strawberry root because I've had family over here helping me pick. And this one was stepped on and the crown was broken. So what I'm going to do is pull this space. So I pull this one up, plant it somewhere else. I might plant it over there under the tree with the others to see if it roots. The roots are really still healthy. We'll catch up. And then I'm going to use that as a space for me to step when I am harvesting. These roots, I have water here. I'm going to set them there in that water because it's too hot for them to be out here without any type of water. So now, since I pulled that up, I step over here and get into the strawberries back here in the back. Anything that you see that's rotten, get it out because it will only attract pests. Like these are no good. Probably missed in the last harvest. Beauties right here. And yes, you do have to take your time and go under the leaves because they like to hide. The beautiful ones are always hiding under the canopy. All right. Oh, I see another one. All of these I'm going to get up and toss because it seems to be drawing pests. Now, here's one thing. If you can manage the pests by doing what I initially started to do and just putting out some donor strawberries and they don't touch the others, fine. But it seems, for me, that they've started moving in. So the other thing that I'm going to do is, now that they're growing so prolifically, I'm going to put netting over them. And I'm going to walk you through that process because if you have this amount and this space, you want to protect your strawberries, netting is the best thing to stop rodents from getting into your strawberries. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna space right here. I'll sit in the middle. Right here. There you go. That's beautiful. So today's harvest, just from these two strawberry patches. Let's get into it.